Conversation. So there's going to be that point in the conversation where things start to go a little stale or awkward, or the energy starts to die. You need to change topics. Well, you know that the best way to change topics is to ask a question, but it's the transition that matters. And this transition that I use, and I encourage you to use, is a reminder, as if you just got reminded of a topic that you want them to contribute to. And people like it because it sounds like you've been thinking about them and you're interested in them, and it's going to make them want to talk about it. For example, you could say something as simple as, oh, hey, that reminds me, and then ask a question. Or, hey, I meant to ask you the other day, and ask the question. People love that kind of stuff, and that transition makes them feel really valued. So use that anytime you need to change topics. Follow me.
Here's the corporate question. It's under the sauce. Because it's time for another saucy corporate interview questions. This time for executive leaders like myself, because maybe one day I'll be interviewing you. Here's something saucy I might want to hear you ask me, okay? Hi, my name is Beverly Dines. I'm a chief operating officer, having scaled operations for over a decade and in a crap ton of fields. Y'all been doing this a while. And your saucy corporate interview question of the day for an executive leader is, you and I both know that a organization is only as strong as the ability for the team to reinforce behavior. And especially as you've shared over the course of this interview process, your strategy, I want to ask you, how can this role reinforce behaviors that you want to see to amplify that strategy? And what behaviors would you like to see evaporate? Let me let y'all behind the curtain a little bit, because as a leader, listen, this question is so good. It's so good. Because we often will design strategy, will design elements, especially good leaders. Like, you'll have roadmaps, we'll have different things that'll kind of outline what we want to see from the department or the organization, but they're only as successful as the ability for that leader's ability to teach, coach, be open, supervise their team, support their team, show up on time, do actually anything in the role, and be empathetic and all the other things that we know that's up. And also the team's ability to step up to the plate and own those responsibilities to the fullest extent. And so if you're at a good organization talking to a good leader that you're really excited about, you asking this question is you saying, what do you want me to reinforce that you know is going to help develop this team or develop the initiatives that you want to see go through the finish line? And what are the things that you want to see stop? This is a very political way of saying, like, what behaviors do you want to see people stop doing in this office? Good leaders will love this freaking question, y'all. They will love this question, because what they'll tell you is some things like, oh man, I really love how open we are as a team. We have open lines of communication. We're proactive communication, and I do not want to see that leave. I think that we do a good job of providing, 360 feedback to each other, and that has really helped all of us grow. And honestly, it's helped mitigate a lot of issues. What I'd like to see, maybe dissolve is we have too many meetings that could have been an email. And I think that if we could be more efficient, and a lot of that starts with me, right? If we could be more efficient, and if I could be, more streamlined in what the agendas are, like that, I think will trickle down to the remainder of the team. But yeah, just more efficiency there. I think I'd like to see less unnecessary meetings, unnecessary agendas, and more time to. This is an incredible cheat code. It's a cheat code, y'all, because look at how much information you just got. You just got so much information. They like proactive communication. They like open dialogue. They like 360 feedback. They value it. It's a value of theirs. And on top of that, they're tired of meetings that could be emails. They want more efficiency. They want more proactive planning. They want more, direct and proactive communication so that they don't have to be wasting time. I mean, you got so much information. So now when you're coming in on this first day, what are you going to do? Are you going to be scheduling unnecessary meetings? Are you going to be a proactive listener and communicator? Listen, now you've got a cheat code to lock in, and the leader sees you, seeing them as to what you want to do to be able to lock in with them. And that is going to stand out so much, especially to an executive leader who is balancing a ton of different strategic elements and also is seeing, these positive behaviors and also behaviors they don't want to see in real time, and hearing you come in and being like, hey, how can I be more efficient or more supportive or whatever it is? Y'all, Now, what you need to listen and look out for is if a leader responds to you with, well, I just think there's too many distractions. I just think that there's just way too many distractions. I don't think people are really on pace. I don't think that folks really pay a lot of attention, or, we just have a lot of mistakes going on, or we have if you hear anything that's immediately negative, like they go straight to what's not working or straight to what they don't want to see anymore, pay attention to that, because you asked reinforce and dissolve, not just dissolve. And so if the entire answer is really negative and it's all of the things within which that they are tired of seeing and they don't even come back to, oh man, you know what? I just spent a little bit of time complaining. I'm sorry. It's been a hard week. There's a lot of things I want to reinforce about this team. They don't course correct. Cheat code, y'all. It's a cheat code. And even leaders who prepare for this they give themselves away if they aren't strong leaders, because you can't help yourself. If you can't come from a mind frame of proactive positivity first in relation to your team, that's how you think of that team. There's just no other way to say it. If you only think of negative things when people ask you about what you want to reinforce or dissolve, and the first thing you think of, well, I can tell you a million things I want to be done. I wish that so-and-so, and I think that's how you feel about that team. And candidates are going to pick that up. So if there's any leaders watching this, they're going to pick that up, and you should. And that's why I want to teach you all this question, because it's a good one. And that first day when you get that job, remember this, write it down, write down what they said they want to see reinforced and what they want to see dissolved. Because if you're coming in day one, dissolving that ish and reinforcing the good ish, you can come back here and thank me later.
The only internships that you should be looking for right now are ones that are actually going to treat you as though you were working a job, because frankly, in this hiring market, if you are pencil pushing, answering phones, or doing other things that are completely unrelated to what you are intending to do in the future, that might as well not be on your resume. But you wouldn't know that, right? Because you were told experience is experience, internships are internships, but not all internships are created equal. And I'm going to teach you how to play the corporate game, because you can't play it if you don't know the rules. Hi, my name is Beverly. I'm a Chief Operating Officer, having scaled operations for over a decade and in over 6 fields. And this is how to play the corporate game, part 15, specific to applying to internships. Now, the first and foremost is the job description. You have to look at those job descriptions just like you'd look for a job and see what metrics are you going to be assessed with, what deliverables are they going to provide you, how are you going to be plugging in on the team, what projects are you going to be managing. If you don't see any of that there, you need to be doing some deeper dives onto their website and see what their previous intern cohorts did. And if they don't have anything there, you need to run. In this hiring market, I need you to look around. People are desperately trying to find opportunities with years of experience. So if you are spending an entire summer sitting at a desk or taking the overflow work from another employee who's just grateful to have the extra help, that doesn't set you up for success. It helps the company, because if they choose to pay you or not, you're going to be helping them with their overflow instead of what they should be doing, which is hiring another person. And you're not going to get the actual real world experience that you need to get, which is going to help you land a job when you graduate. And so first and foremost, look at those job descriptions and look at what you're being measured on, so that you can ensure that you're actually going to be useful and able to apply your skill set day one, so it's applicable to your resume when you leave the internship. During the interview process, you need to be asking questions specific as it relates to whether or not they've had an internship cohort before. If they have, what were the deliverables that were expected of that